We're back to staying after class, cause without tact, these class acts we're clearing up the aftermath of detention sentences for mischief under false pretenses. Cause I've been lawless since the girl's been lawless, but the goods track record has been absolutely flawless. I passed my bar exam in fast track, opening my rap practice to applause from the crowd and young gymnasts doing backflips, but there are times when my mind is so lost that I can't find it when I'm blinded. With my partner in rhyme, we chart climb but confine it by an art form that conforms to the confinements of an environment plagued by violence. So we both do ecstasy, giving MCs the kiss off, then raise the hot split to our split lips and blast off past the cast-offs. Coming out of orbit by the toilet, we pull bullshit in and fill my full metal jacket with the racket of my mattress when I jerk it. Woohoo! Me so horny, you should've warned me that you were sucky, 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 and I cannot love you long time at the same time that I'm puncturing your hymen. But now I hymen lick maneuver on cloud 9 with the silver lining. My thorough research has found the ties cannot be binding, and my findings will be published amongst the rubbish of the mainstream. Spicy boys on back streets and girls all dressed up for track meets. And these are the idols that we swallow. The media leads me to believe I need a leader, so I follow, and I wallow in the hollow misery of mastery. My task will be to pinch the plump asses of young lasses and smash the geeks' glasses with high-speed Tai Chi. But I try to say goodbye to the mischief of my youth, but proof is in the pudding. And the pudding tastes like shit, so I forget in my dementia how good it used to be to see the full moon from my bedroom when I was grounded after getting pounded by the wooden spoon. Ouch.
Mischievous madness for all the glory days and past sadness as we cause shit around the atlas, getting pegged on everybody's blacklist.
Mischievous madness for all the glory days and past sadness as we cause shit around the atlas, getting pegged on everybody's blacklist.
No doubt we sent to mischief. The studio pranksters, never gangsters, but maybe gangbusters. When the duo enters scenes, heads get flustered. Cut the chase like mustard. Maxwell and the Kiwis getting clustered. Cluelessly, the people bob their noggins. The spoken flatulence feels like flogging. Remember me? I slide down big willies like toboggan. Yeah, that's the ticket. We strive to stick it from the moment we was born. Horny as fuck. Try to get it on. My peeps ain't pawns. Max pointed it out. At times we screamed in shouts. Now it's soft spoken. No, not really. Sometimes take our shirts off and get silly. Hyperactive good night music, dreading bald head hillbillies used to swab over quarter dimes really for the Phillies. Now we have a dominance in our whole presence. Patience matter shown has been a blessing in its purest form. We kissing 14 gay Eskimos until they warm. Mischievous, must we repeat it? The truth of our relationship is possibly a secret even to our own. Never forget the days of residence when time was taken to hone. Seriously, Gordsky, 60 minutes of style free is how we filled up those tapes. The dopest crack beat sessions will be on October 1/8. That's the formula. Notorious red iris and cornea. Did I mention we's getting hornier and hornier? Aching, dirty laundry bought, not taken. Is this a sequel? Sloppy seconds on my song was the ill prequel. Equals EP equivalents, a chance for my man to shine. As usual, the strongest love to Miles, Pete, and Sean. We's out, mysterious, mischievous, mischief for the third time.
Mischievous madness for all the glory days and the past sadness as we cause shit around the atlas, getting pegged on everybody's blacklist.
Mischievous madness for all the glory days and the past sadness as we causing shit around the atlas, getting pegged on everybody's blacklist.
Such a damn tickets. Such a damn tickets. More intelligent sound to get down to. More pure hip-hop at clubs where alcohol is port affordable, more portable toilet pilots at outdoor concerts, more sponsors who won't take the vibe and soil it. More sarcastic, witty, gritty stage performances, more relevant embellishments, more new developments that they waste to outer space intelligence. With beady eyes, more double agent enterprise, comprised of more behind your lines and nines. And how good you claim to be has started raining the excess nothingness of spit from your lips. Your words ain't shit cause ain't no flies on it. More pest control, better breath control for the cold soul that I can't show. More real girls on 17 magazine covers, more letters to the editors, exposing those posing as feedy predators. More open doors to mournfully watch the dead, more left unsaid, more solvents ingested. More breast undressed, rock completely toplessly with no shame, cause I can claim membership in your flagship campaign. To share with the rest of us the beauty of your breast assist, more sexually obsessed porn dogs, more porno magazine self hogs, more cogs in the wheel well, more music that makes me feel well. With stress I don't deal well, I can't deal so well. More feel good with the goods, get off like deep woods. More of Kunga's arc of making an art form out of stock. Contrast, angioplastic, surgically remove your mask. More artifacts, cause in fact, Little T's reenactment of Biggie's legacy was a testament to his MC ability. And most importantly, let's have some more of me, cause I'm Maxwell, making tracks while acting as hip-hop's fattest hippie. More or less of what I don't need in stress. Sometimes instead of rhymes I flex my sex muscle in the mirror. With every breath I'm less convinced, and as I wince, the ending of the world draws nearer. More or less. More or less of what I don't need in stress. Sometimes instead of rhymes I flex my sex muscle in the mirror. With every breath I'm less convinced, and as I wince, the ending of the world draws nearer. More or less. Less investigative journalism, scratch tabloids, less irrelevant factoids that add to the confusion infused in white noise. Less subliminal thoughts sent, less pent-up anger that develops into danger. Less no rangers and tontos, less Elliot Ness, untouchable, strange, combustible combos mixed with the bongos getting gonzoed. Fluctuating, less venerating while I'm busy making babies. Less ladies carrying scaly flags, being vague about the egg cycle. Less recycling the police in every breath you take. Less puffy, less Foxy Brown, less sound from those circus clowns. Make music, please, for the love of everything sacred. Less taking in, more giving, reliving and receiving and breathing in the belief of going beyond. Less frogs in the pond, less cocks in your sweaty palm. Less intoxicating, unnatural sense. I'm scent free, smelling like nature, baby. Raising the ways of less paint upon the pavement instead of in a hollow cave den drawing buffaloes with less clothes, roaming freely in our shadows. Less amusing, abusing God's graces as a ruse to excuse your views on being racist. Open spaces less polluted by Russian laser, razor sharp human faces. Less Hollywood movie groupies who excuse the soupiness of their existence. Less idiots spending time talking, rumor mill churning about dead men walking. Less gawking and more learning by the burning midnight oil as we return to the soil like rain to remain being loyal. More or less of what I don't need in stress. Sometimes instead of rhymes I flex my sex muscle in the mirror. With every breath I'm less convinced, and as I wince, the ending of the world draws nearer. More or less. More or less of what I don't need in stress. Sometimes instead of rhymes I flex my sex muscle in the mirror. With every breath I'm less convinced, and as I wince, the ending of the world draws nearer. More or less.
Creativity. It's a known fact that grass increases creativity from 8 to 11 times. In fact, everyone finds that they're more creative stoned than
You
straight.
got to cultivate your mind state. Shit is serious. My man Maxwell hopes you act cause you ain't hearing this. Cultivate your mind state. Shit is serious. My man Maxwell hopes you act cause you ain't hearing this. Cultivate your mind state. What? Shit is serious. My man Maxwell hopes you act cause you ain't hearing this. Cultivate your mind state. Shit is serious. My man Maxwell hopes you act.
Well, I smoke pot to become an intellectual, to explore the medical. It's incredible that some people seem to think laws are automatically infallible. Well, they're not, it's just pot, and why not? So I asked this crowd why my proud expression is professionally not allowed when I blow clouds. What I found is that pot for purely ethical can surely astound and expound, I'm hungry and need a pound of edibles. But why can we drink this and can't smoke that? It's just regrettable. Our politicians think that we will settle for more money for war on drugs and less expressly spent on medical. It makes no sense. Having leaders too dense to listen to their constituents. Let's use their soapboxes for pissing, and so when we speak, you listen. You miss the point thinking that I want your permission. Even though my eyes are glistening, I position myself upon the top of the shelf, so let's envision how to organize proper opposition to lies from government and status quo propositions. I'm riled up like Ritalin piss without a pot just for spitting, keeping the truth hidden, doing America's bidding. So no more Marine Corps drug war up on the South Shore. If you can't legalize it, then please at least decriminalize it and take a stance for the slim chance that we'll advance and then enhance our minds by ingesting certain plants. Our perception is infinite, our restrictions indefinite. At 80 BTs per minute, who gives a fuck who's winning it? When I'm soon to yield a crop of homegrown, my pot is home sown. So make a dash to your nearest telephone, it's going fast. The last one in line is a fat lounging alley cat smoking a huge Sheba baseball bat with a thin stream of chemo. Escaping beneath the nape of his Kango, we choke, chain, strangle, manic Mondays like the bangle. With the bandana star spangled to the ex-hippies, now yuppie manner, I can't stand you for creating the whiplash that made the stock market crash, investing heavily in hash on a cross-border dash with the Mexican, a legal resident. I'm hesitant to take his pot cause I trust nobody with the mustache, but then that won't last cause trust is but a swift kick in my ass. And as the cannabis flag flies at half-mast for the masses whose glass bungs were confiscated, it's finally time to be elated cause come one day, soon you and I will see the hypocrisy of pot laws in this country become history, hopefully.
You got to cultivate your mind state. Shit is serious. My man Maxwell hopes you whack cause you ain't hearing this. Cultivate your mind state. Shit is serious. My man Maxwell hopes you whack cause you ain't hearing this. Cultivate your mind state. Shit is serious. My man Maxwell hopes you whack cause you ain't hearing this. Cultivate your mind state. Cultivate your mind state. You got to cultivate your mind state.
Another hit, baby.
Look for people who are smoking grass. Go over and stand next to them as quietly as possible and look wistful. If they give you any, be sure to say thank you.
Very, very quite contrary, out of your garden grow.
It's time to say goodbye. I'm going away to find a new way in new places with new faces keeping high. So let the good times fly. It's time to say goodbye. I'm going away to find a new way in new places with new faces keeping high. So let the good times fly. At a high noon real soon, my wheeling and dealing will end, and it depends on how many friends I have to part from when I'm part numb. You're inside of my heart and mind. The real kind of friends are hard to find and define. The new and improved, subtle groove, improvised, kind nug, drug-inducing, Halifax scene leaders. The best dancers at Pacifico, the most stylish East Coast, East Side Mario, real worker cooking up the pasta for this roster. No imposters at the claustrophobic, kissing cousin family affair, and from there my affairs will conclude. But I stay glued to the content. I would be content dancing under circus tents, inventing vintage volumes of Dan Max's poems. Relax all shit chuckers and motherfuckers, cause we throws it with the best of them. The crowd we floor 'em. Enjoy the decorum, getting free VIP from Passover to Purim. Cause most likely we will be in contact. Our stated contract is to stay true to the fact. You all help start a movement that we'll all have to finish. Don't diminish your support for quarts and 40 ounces and parties with no need for bouncers. And don't feed the greedy when you can buy some goods for the needy. The ingredients involve smart people picking smart verses, then rehearsing so we can burst in while all y'all yell in unison. Cause what we're doing is changing the rules and regulations. Please try to be patient, it's all about education, while the fattest sessions always happen in somebody's basement. It's time to say goodbye, going away to find a new way, new places with new faces keeping high, so let the good times fly. It's time to say goodbye, going away to find a new way, with new lot of love, so check it and spread it so everybody gets infected with smiles upon styles. What's up, Miles Rubin? How you doing? No need for proof, cause truth is out there and standing tall, planning for deception fall. Thanks to Minion for the bracelet, I wear it everywhere I go. Thanks to Meg for those dope fashion raps and a place to crash. Thanks to the Blazers for being the most amazing real blondes. Thanks to Boomsy Carvery, self-explanatory. Thanks to QE for uniting me with friends at the Southside doors to smoke more. For I was president, and I had to hide my nasty habits from the big shits and all that silly shit. So stay clean, 219. Kunga, my rhyme partner, drug fiend, this addict. We started my rhyme journey by clearing skeletons out of the attic. So what's the big secret? We just have to shrug and hug until the future session. So keep it. Deep love to the displanted heads dispersed around the planet. From Montreal to BC, crack beaters live in history. Hey John, show some skills on the next CD. Craig and Woody bang those drums until some idiots intrude. No need to be rude. Just brush them off and continue with the beats that break sheets of glass. Thanks to Mark and Andy for fucking me at 2.5 Blues Corner. For some jungle drinking draft at Wardrobe Happy Hour Fridays. For good tunes and good prices. To Kerouac, whose KRS mix was fucking priceless. To the nicest drug dealing couple, Mike and Nancy. Thanks for the company and fine conversation. Love to King's Foundation, heads from my ear. Wednesday night smoking hash pipes under skies so clear. No need to fear the aliens. Instead of writing essays, Latin, Robin and Susie, what we saw was real. Love to ravers, even the fake see you later alligator, style conscious scene stealers, dust and ecstasy dealers. I come for the music. Just let Brendan get up in it and spin it. Even a minute at the icebox is totally out of the question. Thanks for 1, 2, and 3, good vibe collection. But I hated your selection of music, you abused it. So I'd like to burn house to the ground, cause the sound is repetitive, boring and knocks me out like a sedative. But no need for bitch raps, ditch that bad attitude, dude, and give love to the group Home Loon from Saskatoon. Luxury car, a Lexus, piece to spoken word Joe the Busker, the lyric husker, crop duster, Chiba hustler. I must admit that shit just wouldn't have gone down without a pound for my partner in the journeys to come. The beatbox down for anything musical genius, peace to Mike Sheehan, and everybody who can bust and contributes to the rust and dust falling off as the new school becomes the next school. The golden rule is to thank those who started, pave the sacred ground so I can make my sound count. Peace to K.A. Little T and Gordsky, Sebutones, Recyclones, Renegades, Snake Brother Synapses. No self-tactics to cross the atlas. The fact is that the most love goes to the members of Crackbeat, cause when the pack meet, before we did more than just lay the backbeat, and the most love I can send is to my girlfriend, my best friend. We'll hook up again in the end. Peace to beautiful Ellen. This song was written in a 5-day burst, 17 hours. All I'm asking is that you take it for what it is. It's 9.5 minutes long. It's a sit-down song. When you're done with this, man, just chill, because it's a make-you-think song, and it's the most energy I've ever put into one song. So peace and joy. So this is war. More blood pours from the fountain as I'm counting on the cold hand of those that abstain and demand more ground gain for the causes that we follow into battle. I swallow when the whole earth rattle. It was all too real from the moment that I peeled my steel cap back and saw the black night fade into first light. Some fat balding man had the clever insight that might makes right, so under infrared sight we steadily advance. I raised from my crouch stance as bullets mark the time I dance through lines of dead men who've been forever left behind to lie with their own kind. But I turn my mind off, desensitizing. I find myself surmising on how I can plant my flag upon the horizon, so glory finds me and I can be history's first living soul on the beaches of Normandy and slay me 1,000 Germans. Cause revenge is burning hot as pistol shot, and I can smell bodies rotting on both sides of the divide. But the tide of the battle is turned, the good guys have returned. So we succeed in the beachhead, but success is relative. Relatively high numbers of dead blood-stained human remains, but the Nazis fled, so we advance into France. We meet the underground resistance behind enemy lines, making good distance at the insistence of our leaders. We follow up on every lead, even retreat can be a trap. But one look at the map showed the Germans were withdrawing. The citizens were applauding as they plotted how to pay back their citizen assassins. We started liberating towns to the ticker-tape tirades of humans too tired to wage war anymore. It looked like war had but a few months left before we could all rest and go home to our families. But then we heard rumor of a place where an entire human race was taken and laid to waste. A camp where crazed experiments take place, and rows of corpses overflowed mass graves. There were things to be seen that turn you to burn inside. The soldiers were told to see with their own eyes, so I went to see it so I could explain without laying blame. history's made a name is story, so I will call it as I see it. I see fit to record it so the truth cannot be distorted. But I must warn you, truth is cold. Soul stolen from right under the skin. A prison where inmates' fate was wrapped the day the feet passed the gates, and doctors decided whether you were pesticided or provided with a tattoo used to ID you when death from exposure overcame you. So I walked past the gates and saw plain brick buildings, and then the real world faded. I hated every breath, no words to express what I saw when Auschwitz fell. A living hell you couldn't tell, the living dead from the skeletons enveloped in this valley of death. The stink of charred flesh made my breath catch. We couldn't match the millions of dead civilians with what we had believed to be humans. How could this happen? I asked my captain, and for a moment this proponent of atonement just shook his head, cause it was best left unsaid. But being Jewish on the other side of the divide meant that I knew my history without having to face its wrath. The path of 6 million goes way beyond the math. Fell first, and Jews were the first to feel it, herded into units by perverted Germans who used their loose liberties to sexually abuse and misuse in full view of the camera. But it never made the news, cause most polls agreed that all Jews were infected. They infested every stock invested bank, and every government think tank had at least a Jew or two, so who am I to play the fall guy? When I cast my eye on the neighbor's grass where it's truly greener on the other side, I must confide that I hate Jews just about as much as the Germans do. So when the burning smoke chokes out the air and all I smell is burning hair, I'll turn a blind eye and comply with every single lie that you make us recite, so we won't ask any questions. I'm just an average citizen. See, many Europeans felt that Jews were just pollution, a problem finally solved by the final solution, where communists, Jews, gypsies, and handicapped queers all became a target of irrational fears fed by the flames of state-sponsored propaganda. And that's when one man began to expand his theories of inferiority and spread it like a virus. So Jews were enclosed in ghettos completely frozen from contact. Beyond that flat where 15 people slept back to back, where liberty and property was stolen on the grounds that Jews were the chosen scapegoats. So oaths were torn and the horn sounded. As the hatred rose from town to town, the world was astounded that the Nazis would treat some citizens so ruthless. But without documented proof, the accusations were toothless. And since the persecuted were Jewish, the world watched and did nothing. See, hate was fanned into obsession, obsessed by the extermination of a nation, bonded by religion. So a nation created in fear and xenophobia proceeded to eliminate, sanctioned by the state, but bullets were too expensive and didn't kill fast enough. Plus the mass graves made it hard to deny the use of slaves digging their own graves. So science was used and compounds were created to make the killing less anticipated and more efficient. A pesticide called Zyklon B was used to see hundreds of strangers into the gas chambers, which they were told were the showers. The children, women, and elderly must have been smelly, cause immediately upon entry they were all sent to the showers. So the world watched, and somebody had to know that 6 million Jews went to camp and just didn't come home. Stare down the tracks where trains packed, humans and cattle cars behind steel bars. The motto of this camp attracts my eye. It says Albrecht, Mach, and Frey, meaning work will make you free. But all those who died inside probably never saw the irony. This place had an evil feeling as we roamed building to building. Sights before my eyes, each one the less appealing. A room piled to the ceiling with gold-filling teeth. The next filled with shaved human hair, soon to become some German chair and plush sofa. Suffocating stench as I clenched my teeth for what I reached next. I saw 10 huge chimneys burning gas juice to ashes. A whole section dedicated to storing glasses confiscated from the dead for resale. I felt frail and had to leave this hell or be consumed by its spell. I've long since left, but I consider it my duty to bring this tragedy to the attention of a country who pats itself on the back for helping end the occupation and bring freedom to a federation of the oppressed, but Canada must be undressed. Its dirty laundry put to rest. Our country frowned on the slaughter perpetrated, a crime so anti-human we were all left exasperated, but it faded over time. And if you think Denmark smelled rotten, soon our feelings were forgotten. But I will never forget that this nation did nothing. And when our government feigned sadness, they must have been bluffing. Cause before and during the war, all in the way into the 50s, Canada's immigration policy was just as clear as any. One Jew is one Jew too many. So how can we condemn when we had a chance to open up our arms and give a home to the survivors? Instead we gave the red carpet to ex-Nazi storm riders, whose record checks seem to have been forgotten at the border in the disorder. Why do you think we still keep finding out that Nazis are our neighbors 50 years later? Ask me if I think we should have done more. It's all said and done with now, so what the fuck for? My task and all I ask is that you never forget, cause those who forget, history will repeat it. The Nazis were defeated, yet the lies live on and spawn in the ignorance of those whose motives reap it. And claim death counts were made up, as if we needed to exaggerate. But I saw how hate could make right thinking people deviate when they create excuses for the nooses and reasons for the bleeding. But nothing made as much sense as seeing is believing. I can't stop crying, this isn't human, only illusion, but I'm trying. What I saw will defy. Too many dead to identify. Cities disappear and whole families die. So when you deny spreading lies, my mind burns with the pictures left behind. Please look inside my eye and tell 6 million Earth citizens why. All I wanna know is how the hell can you deny? How the hell can you deny? How the hell can you deny? How the hell can you deny?